Alright, welcome back to another episode of the Jamal Chetty Show, and today we have a nice question, a good question. So the question is, how do you find the right person, whether man or woman? And it's a very good question. I'm gonna talk a little bit about that and a little bit about dating. So to get into it, how do you find the right person? How do you choose that right person? You don't. You do not choose. Okay? It says, seek ye first the kingdom of God, and everything else will be added unto you. So if you seek God first, if you're putting God first in everything that you do, then when the time is right, especially for you who want to get married, when the time is right, he will add that person to you. Okay, if you go looking for that person, you'll end up finding the wrong person. And this is like 90% of the time, you'll find the wrong person. So never go looking. Just seek ye first the kingdom of God. Start to look at yourself and see, what is wrong with me? Okay? You got to look at yourself. You got to examine yourself and see what is wrong with you that needs to be fixed before you look, or before you even think about marriage. Okay? And before even thinking about marriage, look to see if you have any resentment towards your parents, because what's going to happen is you're going to carry that resentment into your marriage. So if you have a resentment towards your mom, or you have a resentment towards your dad, you're going to carry that resentment in your marriage, and it's not going to be healthy. You know what I mean? And it's going to cause a lot of arguments. It's going to cause a lot of damages. So that's one thing I would say. Look to see if you have any resentments and go and forgive. Go and forgive them, because he says, go and forgive. God says, go and forgive, and he will forgive you. You know what I mean? He'll forgive you for having that resentment. And so it's important to do that. I have another thing written down here. Another thing. When it comes to dating, when you're dating, it's important that you date. You know what I mean? You date without having sex. You know what I mean? As soon, and this is why it's important. Is why it's important that you date without having sex, because the thing is, women are sex dealers and men are sex addicts. So what I mean by that is, if you want to have a marriage, if you want to have a marriage come from a relationship, come from your dating, and you're allowing, or this man is weak enough to sleep with you before you're married, that means he's going to be weak enough to cheat on you after you're married. If he's weak enough to sleep with you before you're married, he's weak enough to sleep with you after you're married. Okay, so hold off from the sex. And a lot of times, women are able to stay away from sex before marriage. And most of the times, it's the man that is weak and has to sleep with the woman because he's weak. So, you know what I mean? Be strong. Go and forgive so you can be strong. For a woman, when you're dating, what you want to look for in a man is a man that is able to lead. He's honest. He's a provider. He's a protector. He's able to speak up and speak up for himself. And most importantly, he's an individual and doesn't go with the group thinking. He thinks for himself. For a man, when you're looking for a woman, it's very important because definitely hard these days, definitely. He's looking for a woman that's able to be a good mother. You know what I mean? She's gonna be nurturing, she's gonna be caring, she's gonna be able to take care of the home, and she's willing to stay home with the kids if the circumstances are in place. She's willing to. Never ever ever. It's gonna be hell to pay if you find a woman that does not plan on staying home, does not want to stay home and take care of the kids. She doesn't make for a good mother. And same thing with the other ways. You want a man that's able to lead and be honest, and if he can't be those things, he won't make for a good father and a good husband. So when you're dating, also you want to make sure you take time. Dating is all about taking time to get to know that person. Okay, so it's not 1 week, 1 month, 2 months, and then marriage. You know what I mean? You got to take some time. Sometimes it takes years to get to know that person, because it's important. And I know for me, you know what I mean, I've always said that I've always known that I didn't want to get into a marriage that would end in divorce. So even if you're engaged and you spot and you realize that, okay, this person has this quality that is detrimental to our marriage, you should not go into that marriage, especially if you know that quality can lead to divorce. So that's why it's important that you're paying attention and you're not having sex, because what sex does is it makes you emotional and makes you unconscious to what's going on in front of you. You'll miss things. You'll miss the truth that is being displayed. You're walking around blindly and not having open eyes, because it's like a drug. The sex is like a drug. So it's like you're not paying attention. You're not focused on what's really going on. So I definitely encourage that when you're dating, you date for a while. And this is for people that, want to get married, want to find the right person. In actuality, you shouldn't be looking. You shouldn't be looking. God will put that person in front of you, whether man or woman. You gotta, and that's why it's important that we let go. Because if we let go and allow God to lead our lives, then when it's time for us to find the right person, He will put that person right in front of us.